Guys, bear with me. It's a bit of an update on the Deadcat bracket situation. I had a problem where I had these little snappers kept breaking on me, the little GoPro brackets. Their arms there are so thin that you daren't squeeze the buggers in more than once or twice and you'll get a fracture there. And it's common, lots and lots and, well, hundreds of people. Or they'll shear across here and end up leaving your camera somewhere down the road. And I saw a little device by Deadcat that you've all seen. And I thought, yeah, it's good, it's brilliant, but my complaint was it was too short. The camera, when it was clipped to the helmet, had to be out at an angle. And they wrote back saying, well, actually, it was designed for the open bracket, excuse me a second, the open bracket, so that that would fit tight up to the helmet, because some riders like Royal Jordanian and a few others like the open bracket, so that there's no glass in front of the lens, and they record separately, so there's no recording lead coming out the side. But they said, no problem, we can fix that. So they got one with a longer shaft. That shaft there, 8-10mm longer. I haven't actually bothered measuring it because I can't be bothered, because it fits perfectly. They've done the measurements. Why do them a second time? Now I'm going to ask your opinion. That on the side of my helmet, I'm not sure how well you can see that in this light, or that on the side of my helmet that appears to have been manufactured by a Meccano engineer on LSD, obviously sacked from Meccano for being an idiot and employed by GoPro. And look at it. That's what you have to tolerate to get your helmet cam. It's ridiculous, isn't it? Look at the state. Now, which do you prefer? Let me put the camera down and you tell me which you think is better. Now, it's not just GoPro, you see. There's a lot of other people, and there's a lot of other questions. I've had questions from other people in America and Australia saying, well, the grey looks a bit, yeah, you know, I mean. So GoPro were actually looking at my comments on my video, and this was unknown to me. And I'd like at this point just to say I'm not associated with GoPro, with Deadcat. In fact, I can't even pronounce the bloody name properly without losing my teeth. Not paid by them, not employed by them, have no friends working for them. This is my personal taste and I'm passing it on. Anyway, they listened. Somebody asked if they could send them to Australia. And they said, yep, Australia, New Zealand, Tasmania. Why the hell Tasmania? Anyway, yep, they're post down there. Another biker said, well, you know, they look better in black. Guess what? Hey presto, they did one in black. And I've got one on my helmet here. And you've got to admit, by any stretch of the imagination, that looks pretty good, doesn't it? Or I think it does. Personally, and it's only me personally, I think it is absolutely the dog's doodahs, and if GoPro made brackets like that in the first bloody place, they wouldn't have a problem. What's the difference? Now this is the critical bit. What is the difference? Before I finish, you can get them in grey or black, yeah? Grey or black depending on your preference, but the difference is, let me turn these over, and if you look at the back, GoPro have hollowed out so much plastic there's no strength left in the whole bracket, and the legs here are paper thin, yeah, probably a mil. Deadcat, they've left a lot more meat on the bone, it's more substantial, and the legs are thicker, twice the thickness, which allows for stress transference. Where the stress here has got nowhere to go but up and down a thin bit, here it can travel up and down to thicker bits, so it's like a suspension bridge. It's all supporting itself, which is just common sense engineering. As I'm sure anybody will tell you, it's just common sense engineering. So, are they stronger? Well, I get nervous when I do that with this. I'm waiting for the geek and the snap. And you can snap them so easily. And of course they break across here, across this ridge line. When you tighten this thumb screw up, it's just, they fracture along there, and as you're riding along, whoosh, your camera goes. The dead cat ones, well, they are a percentage stronger. They most certainly are, and I think there's going to be a lot more practicality if used with common sense, because obviously plastic is plastic. Even if they made these a size 9 boot, somebody could still break them. So, you know, the question is, are they stronger? Yes, they are, because they're more flexible. Obviously had the limits, but they're more flexible. They will go in and out more times, and I think they will hold your camera far more securely. And because it's a different composite material, it's more flexible material, when you tighten this bolt here, you're not going to get, unless you're, you know, let's not get into torque settings here. I'm sure there's somebody who can tighten them up and fracture something, but I don't think it will fracture. It's just something that tells me it won't fracture. So, why have I said Ghost and HD? Bear with me. Let me put my little camera down. I need 2 hands for this bit. Excuse the flap. The lady that does didn't today. Well, actually the lady that does hasn't for 6 years, but we won't go into that. So, you have a Ghost HD. There's your adapter bracket. Yeah, fits on. Why would you want one of these, I hear you ask? I'll tell you in a second. So, contour, just dropped it. I like doing that. Contour, grey and black. Yeah, now, they've thought about contour. So much thought gone into this. You've got the bracket here, which means it's going to stand quite pronounced on the bracket. What if you want it on top? They've given you a bracket here, so you can put your helmet camera on top, on the side. Because of the manoeuvrability of this bracket, the range through which out it twists, there is not a position on earth it cannot get into. So if you've got an odd shaped helmet, or you need a longer shaft, you're in the category of a gentleman who needs a longer shaft and an odd shaped helmet, then look at these brackets. Whatever camera you use, you will find that if you've got an odd shaped helmet, you should be able to put your clip, your initial clip, on the helmet somewhere that this can then compensate for and get your camera in that perfect angle. Now yes, I know Ghost HD have rotational lenses, but that still doesn't compensate for that slight twist of the helmet, does it? You're still going to struggle with that slight sticking out or sticking in or whatever. This does it. It solves it. White helmet, have a grey bracket. Black helmet, have a black bracket. Doesn't matter. More importantly, what if you want to put your Ghost HD rearward facing on your bike and you can't find somewhere to put it? I should think that if you could find somewhere to underhang this, or put it on a bit of fairing that's slightly curved, or put it on top sideways onto a rear grab rail, I'm telling you that with this bracket I could find somewhere on your bike to rear mount your camera. If you've got a funny shaped helmet, I could find a way of getting your Ghost, your Contour, your GoPro leveled up, because there's nowhere this bracket won't take you. I thought I'd pass that on. Don't poo-poo it if you own a Ghost or a Contour. Do not poo-poo it. Look at it. Think about it. Are you dissatisfied with mounting your camera? Is it possible, if you've got a Contour or a Ghost, that you're slightly dissatisfied? That's it. Dissatisfied? Slightly? You tell me you can't find a position, whichever camera you own, with this beauty here. Yeah, they've sent me a few to look at because I was good enough to say good things about their brackets, and they said, Alan, would you look at the rest and see if they're suitable? And that was all. I paid for the bracket and I'm looking at the rest. There's no underhandedness here. Trust me, I'm a doctor. I don't think you could go wrong with this bracket. Least consider it if you're having problems, and I think this bracket will last the life of your camera. That's my opinion, and only mine.